that better? Can you hear me now? Yay! That's why I was hoping people were out there so they could tell me that. Okay, hi! I don't need a heather cam in this. How do I turn it off? It just... We're gonna have a heather cam because I don't know what I'm doing. So... yeah, I don't know why. Can I take the heather cam out? Nope, that's just heather cam. We're gonna have an empty heather cam, and I'm gonna be over here, and I'm gonna be Heather anyway. And hi. It's not even a heather cam, it's just a cam that Heather's on. Hello and welcome. Ah, thank you, Ace. There it is. Okay. So, I did click the eye, and it went away. Yay! So, I am here, and I am gonna... Thanks, Nathan. I'm gonna... I'm here. I'll answer any questions you have. I have stuff to work on, and I don't know what to do. I just didn't feel like we should be dark for the whole time that Allison was gone. So, anyone have any thoughts? Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy you're here. This is... I already told them about your World War II story. You missed that stream, Nathan, but I told them. But I do... There was something. Okay. So, I watched Nathan's stream a couple weeks ago, and he was streaming, what's it called? Hell Let Loose? Is that the game? But he kept dying a lot. And so we were all watching him run past the same field over and over again with a very, very dead cow in there were a few moments, so I'm just telling all of them because no one else is asking for stories. So there were a lot of very, very dead cows, and I don't think he had noticed the cows, but I certainly noticed the cows because they kept happening and I wasn't playing. So then he started shooting all the cows every time he ran by them to bless them and put them out of their misery. So, alas, poor Bessie. And then he finally made it all the way to the church, which was the objective for the day, and thought he saw a sniper and shot at the sniper. And the sniper was actually a statue. So then we in stream heard, "Oh no, I shot Jesus!" And then he actually realized on the second time around that he had not shot Jesus, he'd shot Mary, which is totally different. And then because he shot Jesus and Mary, or whoever, he lost his internet for almost a full day. So, moral of the story is, do not shoot anyone who can turn off your internet. You don't have Bessie anymore? Is it because you shot her? He shot Bessie in the face. So, I'm going to have some juniper tea and figure out what to do next. So, I do actually have some projects to work on. If you all want to see me make things, or... Oh, that's fair, Nathan. So do you want to see me make things, or do you want to ask me questions? What are y'all up for? This can be a choose your own adventure stream. We are not that kind of stream. But okay, sounds good. All right, so let's see. Okay, I don't need that. So I'm thinking of wire wrapping, and I haven't decided whether to do these guys or these. Mix those. Yeah. I'm gonna do the big ones tonight, just because I'm nervous and I don't want to do tiny things. So I'm just gonna be wire wrapping. I'm gonna make a station chain essentially, but a big chunky station chain. And talk to me about what, Nathan? You were busy. You were talking to the entire chat and your fiance. So there was no time for me to offer you coffee. Plus I didn't make any. So I am going to just do a random, I have this mix of Indian glass beads in lots of different blue colors, and I'm just gonna make these into a long, randomly ordered string of beads. So, well, Nathan, we have discussed how bad I am at getting coffee to you on time. And I think part of it is that I did do it, Corvus! I think part of it is that I can't get coffee all the way to your airplane from my apartment. Especially because it is not even on my continent sometimes. Hi, Pam! Hi, everybody! So I've chosen 22 gauge bronze wire for this project just because it's not going to be a very lightweight project, and these have very huge holes. So I want to make sure I make it nice and sturdy. We like to teach. Yeah. Yes, the French press takes time. Look, I've got a 625 square foot apartment. I can only fit so many appliances. Hi, Barbara. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So I am going to use this 22 gauge because it is nice and sturdy, and you all, everyone besides Nathan, is also welcome to ask questions. And it doesn't take a whole hour, Nathan. The French press doesn't. I just forget about it partway through, and you should understand that as someone who doesn't always have attention focused properly. So it doesn't take a whole hour. So I have cut myself a fairly long piece of 22 gauge wire simply because what I'm going to do, this is the well, I like having someone talking to me. I did do it! Hi, Allison! So I'm using 22 gauge wire just because I want to have a sturdy necklace, and I want to make sure that, wait, who's commenting as, oh, never mind, I see. Well, that must be hi Diane, actually, not hi Allison, but yes. Sorry, everyone's commenting as Beading Dreams. Yay, thank you. So, I am supplementing this project with these tiny little gear beads because they have a significantly smaller hole than the Indian glass beads. So, oh boy, chicken parm! Yay! I'm so excited to see so many of my friends out there. The chicken one is definitely Allison. I figured that part out. I'm just that good. I am not having chicken parm or bacon carbonara. No one has made me food at all. I'm having juniper tea in my fancy teacup. Hey, frozen pizza's delicious, and you don't have to do a lot of work. But I will say the other night I made, and Pam already talked to me about this, but I had some shaved Brussels sprouts and I roasted them with garlic and olive oil and paprika for a little bit of smokiness, and they were so good. I could have eaten my weight in those, and I need to go buy more so I can do that again, because I will happily eat my weight in those. It's a lot of Brussels sprouts. Maybe not all in one sitting. That sounds like a bad idea. So I am actually going to wait to add my clasp to this because we have our fabulous Findings Trunk Show coming up. We have all of the boxes. Doug actually did bring our last box yesterday, and I did wish him a happy birthday, which definitely seemed like stalking because we have his birthday. Our UPS guy's birthday is written on our store calendar in the back. So I wished him a happy birthday, and that's not weird at all, right? I hope he loves us. So we will have new findings, and we will have them for most of the month of April. So we will definitely have findings on lots of our sales streams. So I am going to wait to add my clasp until I see what kind of awesome bronze findings we have in the trunk show. I am using bronze wire. You can also do gold filled. It goes really well with the bronze findings too. So, okay, so I'm going to start, but I'm going to start with, I'm going to leave an open ring at the end is what I'm saying. So I'm just doing basic wire wrap loops, and because I have tennis elbow, I use 2 pliers to do the wrapping here. And that just, it keeps, because with tennis elbow, really small pinchy movements hurt a whole lot right here. But if I have tools, this doesn't hurt as much as the tiny little pinchy movements. So that's why I use 2 pairs of pliers. And those are both chain nose pliers, but in a pinch, you can, haha, no pun intended. So confused which was. Yes, they did dry needling for me in my physical therapy, and it was awesome. It was so good, which is essentially acupuncture, but without the acupuncture part. So they stick a needle in you and rummage around in your ligaments. It's just don't talk about it, and it's better that way. Yes, tennis elbows. So there are a couple of different things that you can get that are problems with your elbow joints. So you can get tennis elbow, which is on the outside, or you can get golfer's elbow, which is on the inside. And I got tennis elbow, and my physical therapist said he has, in all of his time being a physical therapist, only had 1 patient who got tennis elbow from tennis. And my brother did actually get tennis elbow from tennis. I did not. I got my tennis elbow from crafting because apparently I do extreme crafting. I don't just do regular crafting. Well, you know what, Barbara? That's a good way to get it too, giving kitties belly rubs in bed. Absolutely. So I didn't do that. I was doing too much wire wrapping, too much knitting and not taking enough breaks. So the best cure for it actually is 2 months of not doing any of the, well, Corvus, if you craft the amount that a normal person does, that's one thing. But I was making things all day at work, and then I was going home, and I was making things for 6 hours after I got home, and this was before I figured out that I needed meds to sleep, so I had a lot of extra time on my hands, because that's what happens when you have severe insomnia. So yeah, it was not the most fun time I've ever had. Would not recommend if you can help it, but, and it still flares up for sure, but I do have a lot of good stretches. So, and stretches are good for everyone. So just in case, this is a thing that you can do in your car. So I am not a licensed physical therapist, but this is a really good thing to do if you're in your car. Whenever you're at a stoplight or something, you can hold your arm out straight and pull down. Just pull your hand down, and you can do that for about 10 seconds. And you don't want to move it, you just want to pull. And then you flip your arm over, and you do it the other way as well. And if you don't do this very often, you will probably feel it really intensely the first time you try that. But anyway, that's what they refer to as the stoplight stretch. So if you are any age or an older person, definitely do that every now and again, because whether you have tennis elbow or not, your body probably needs it. So yes, even crafting can hurt your body, but it is possible to be more reasonable than I was being. Yeah, it's not easy to avoid the pains with age. I don't regret a minute of my dancing career, but I pay for it now, so that's okay. Would still choose to do it all over again, even knowing that it hurts. So I have one bead done, and it's, I don't know where the camera is. There it is. So I have it ready for whenever I pick out my finding. And the bead fell off the end, which is hilarious. So I'm going to tighten that loop just a little bit. It's on the floor now. We know all about floor beads. They can live there. And I have heard from Allison. If you didn't see her stop in the stream really quickly, she made it to Chicago. She is currently about to eat chicken parm, and I got to check in with the Beadies. The female Beadies, Maggie and Fiona, were both cleaning the floor in a very exciting manner, because when you have a 5-year-old, you can clean the floor with great exuberance. So that's what they were doing when I got to check in with them, and it was super fun. How's everyone's day been? Tell me about your days, or your weeks, or your hopes and dreams for the future. Anyone? Or does anyone have any questions? I'd love to tell a story that isn't about someone else's video game. No offense, Nathan. I do enjoy telling stories about other people's video games sometimes, but also Nathan did his first really super long flight simulator stream today. It was a 7-hour flight and he still never got his coffee from me, which is just so sad. Corvus, you don't have any hopes and dreams? You've given them up already at your age? That's... How can I help? That seems too urgent. Yes, Jason Momoa counts as a hope and a dream, but do you have any smaller hopes and dreams? Or bigger hopes and dreams? Like, bigger than person-sized? I mean, no one's going to fault you for Jason Momoa dreams. If they do, they're wrong and terrible. So next time I cut a piece of wire for this, I'm going to cut a smaller piece of wire because I'm used to working with this length of wire, but in the streaming area, it's very difficult, it turns out. So I am just making links, and the first thing you have to remember is to try your best to you have all the hopes to unknow all the gems and shiny. Yeah, I mean, who to own? Okay, that makes more sense. Yes, I already own most of the gems and shinies, and I am working on more, which is fun. I think I own at least a couple cars worth of delicious beads. Not that amount of space, but that amount of money. But we don't have to talk about that. Because I can be really, really fancy, and y'all still love me, right? You must, because you're here, and Allison isn't. So I texted my middle niece Reagan, who is 12 today, and she said, I told her that I was doing my first solo stream tonight, and she said, that'll be awesome, that's cool, they love you. So in other news, my nieces are the best, and I love them very, very much, and I am gonna go see them this weekend. So I'm not streaming on Saturday because I am getting in a car and I'm driving home. Thank you, Pam. So I'm driving to my brother's house, and I am going to celebrate Lauren's 9th birthday, which is incredibly incorrect because Lauren is this big and a baby. So I don't think I'm going to celebrate her 9th birthday. I'm just going to be there for her 9th birthday. But I am pretty excited, and I'm not going to talk about my presents just in case any of my family's watching, because they could be, but I am very excited about what I got, so I'll tell you all next week, and I'll take pictures. We have the best people who view our stream. Thank you, Pam. Seriously, you make me feel good. Okay, so now I have all of 2 beads. Go me. Look, I win. I don't know what's on my hand, but that's okay. Beads are on my hand. So we did not have a super busy day here at the Beading Dreams because whenever Allison is out of town, it is a little bit less crazy here, but not on Tuesdays because no one expects Allison on Tuesdays anyway. So Carol and I ran around like crazy people yesterday. I am making a long wire wrapped necklace out of these pretty Indian glass beads in varied blue colors, and it is going to be awesome. I'm excited. I really enjoy Zoom for forcing me to make things that I've been wanting to make or finish. So I'm using this kind of as my own personal Zoom. So, but it can be a freeform / ask me anything. So that's what I'm making, Corvus. At least that's what I'm making tonight. I will be on tomorrow night as well. Probably same deal. I'll start as soon as we finish vacuuming, and I'll just be on until people get tired or I get tired, whichever comes first. I'm not doing sales unless someone asks to see something, and I'm not technically doing a tutorial, but I am more than happy to answer any questions about anything. You know what, Pam, I'm not going to solder anything because that is not my strength, but I do kind of want to do, there's a style of earrings that I do that does involve a torch. So I might make some ball head pins tomorrow. So then we could keep up the Torch Thursday tradition. So I might do that. And then move on to making something else, because ball head pins don't take that long. Well, of course, setting things on fire. What fun is it if you don't set things on fire? Did I tell the story about setting my hair on fire at prom? That was exciting. I know I told that recently, but I don't think I told it on stream. And I remember who I told it to. Oh, I was gonna tell the story about being a junior marshal on stream. So since Pam is here, I don't know if Jen is here, but I'll tell it, and I can tell it another time too. I'm sure you'll forgive me because you're the most amazing people I've ever known. All of you. So, in my high school, we had a tradition of what's called junior marshals. And the junior marshals are the top 4 people in the junior class. And they escort the graduating senior class. Yes, Barbara, it's not a lot of progress because I've been talking a whole lot and I don't know where the camera is. I'm figuring this out. Okay, there it is. No, you don't get to slap kids around. It's really unfortunate. But yes, so the junior marshals are the top 4 kids in each class. Doesn't matter whether they're male or female, top 4 people. And I was one of the junior marshals because I was number 1 in the class for almost my entire life, up until right before graduation. And I got salutatorian, but that was okay because who cares? It's like asking someone who's been the editor of the Harvard Law Review what or else that was. Sorry. Anyway, that was political. I apologize, but I don't. Don't ask anyone who's gotten out of law school what their else that was. That's just not done. So anyway, junior marshals were absolutely useless. Like there was nothing useful about this program. All we did was march at the head of the class. And they made us wear, the guys had to wear white tuxes and the girls had to wear floor or ankle length white dresses and opera length gloves, white gloves, which I think they assumed that all of the debutantes would have, because an awful lot of the richer people tend to be better in school because they have lots and lots and lots of advantages. I was really good in school, but was not rich. So I did not have a floor-length white dress lying around my house. So they actually rented the tuxes for the men. Like, they didn't They didn't have to do anything. They just had to give them their size, and that was entirely paid for. The girls had to come up with their own dress and their own gloves and all of that. And I am so grateful that my mom's friend had a daughter who was a debutante, who happened to be an amazingly beautiful girl, African American, and I was able to borrow her dress, which fit me somehow, because I was tiny and she was tiny, and her custom-made dress fit me pretty well. She definitely had more chest than I ever have. But so I got to borrow her dress and her gloves, and the whole thing was so incredibly sexist, and so it was just a nightmare. I mean, who wants to be in front of a whole bunch of people in a white dress on grass? Floor length white dress on grass. So anyway, that's that story. And now I'm going back to my wire wrapping. This is kind of weird interacting with the chat, because I'm so used to having at least one person here to interact with, and she's gone. She's so far away, and I don't know what to do. My heart doesn't know. My heart will go on. So yeah, that was my experience. That was all the experience I got with being a debutante. It is different, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, Corvus streams, she knows. I've always been impressed with people who do manage to stream, especially my Allison. But yeah, the talking part, I can talk, but whether I say anything anyone wants to hear is another question entirely. So maybe I should try to put things under the camera. I don't know. I'm not good at that. See, I kind of wish I could have done cotillion. We were not the cotillion set. I was very grateful when I got to college, though. The college that I went to in California, okay, I went to Stanford. So the college that I went to in California had a very strong ballroom and vernacular dance program. So I was able to take classes like swing, not ballroom swing, but you know, the kind of swing that they did in the Harlem ballrooms and that sort of thing. And so I learned Lindy Hop, and I learned Argentine tango, and they had a wonderful, wonderful dance every year. I don't know if they still do it or not, because they kept losing their Barbara, I played tuba, so I mean, I was not winning any points for being in band. So anyway, they had a dance every year called the Viennese Ball, and so I did go to Stanford Corvus. I did. I don't like saying that, because then people have certain expectations, and there's one of our customers I don't really want to deal with anymore, because she came in with her absolutely lovely granddaughter one day, and her granddaughter was going to Penn, and so she and I were talking about what it's like to go to an elite school and that sort of thing, and her grandmother ended up saying to me, "You went to Stanford and you work here." I was like, yeah, I do, because the corporate world is toxic for me, and I need to make things with my hands. Everything I've ever learned in my life is useful for this job. There's not a single class I've ever had that hasn't been useful in this job at least once. So stop looking down on retail workers, people. Because some of us are here because we choose to be, not because it's the only thing available. And sometimes, even if it is the only thing available, that doesn't mean you're stupid. Now, I know that our viewers are not those people, but just, that's a soapbox I will jump on anytime. And yes, Barbara, it absolutely sucks your soul out. I was getting sick all the time because I was so stressed out. I couldn't sleep. And I never could do the corporate thing. I can only be myself. And I am not corporate. This is not a corporate person. So I couldn't do it. And it wasn't because I wasn't smart enough. It was because it didn't let me be me. So I would rather have a job that pays me less, and I have the best boss. I mean, no one could ever have a better boss than I do. And there's just nothing. I've had this job now for officially 12 years as of yesterday. So, yeah. Anyway, retail is not for everybody. I think it takes only the strong people rather than... I studied English and creative writing Corvus, which wasn't going to get me a ton of jobs, but part of my problem was, since I was there, I wanted to take all the classes. I wanted to learn everything. And finally, my junior year, I was like, oh crap, I have to pick a major now. So I picked English because it was something I could finish. But I was fortunate enough to be able to take a couple of science fiction writing classes. And I actually took the very first science fiction writing class that they ever had at Stanford. And they had 180 stories submitted for this class, and they took 15 people. And I was one of them, so I got to take a class from Ursula K. Le Guin, which she was one of my all-time favorite writers, so it was really pretty amazing. Smee! It does, doesn't it, Corvus? That, and I have 2 English major parents too, so yeah. When I was growing up, whenever we couldn't pronounce a word or didn't know what a word meant, the family went out to the hall. Okay, so literally the only room in my entire house growing up that didn't have a bookcase was the bathroom. There was even one in the hallway. So we'd go out to the hall bookcase and we'd take out the dictionary and we'd look up the word and we'd all learn about it together. So, except when Jeff was really little and he sat on the dictionary so he could reach the table. And welcome, Smee. I'm doing a wire wrapping project and an Ask Me Anything. So now I have 4 beads. It's very exciting. Ooh, ah. And Corvus, that's also why I lived in California for a while, because I just kind of stayed out there after I went to school. Because I'm from North Carolina, so I went out there not knowing anyone, and that's not true. I knew there was a guy who was a senior when I was a freshman named Thomas Arnold. And he was the valedictorian and class president and like prom king or something. I mean, he was very popular when he was a senior in high school. And I knew of him, but I certainly didn't know him because I was a freshman. Your son is playing D&D tonight? Or is that something else, Smee? I'm a little jealous. Anyway, Thomas Arnold was there, and he was the only person that I knew. He showed up at my dorm a couple times to invite me to things, and just, he was awesome. He was so sweet to me, and he had no reason that he had to be, but he was so great. So that was awesome. So yeah, I went out to California. My mom flew out with me for my first day, and I hadn't even toured the campus because we couldn't afford to fly me to California for that. And what character does he play, Smee? And I had a dream come true, because when I was little, because I'm old, I watched the show Chips religiously, and I had a big crush on both Poncha and John, just because you had to. I've always liked darker haired people over blonder haired people, so one of them was my favorite. But the airport shuttle on our way from SFO to Palo Alto got pulled over on the highway by Chips, and I was so excited. Which is actually CHP. It's not. No one calls it Chips except in the show. So anyway, that was a weird, wonderful moment for me. I hope you'll still love me after tonight. Yes, Barbara. But we didn't get emergency because I think it was because it may have been on CBS. For some reason growing up, we only got ABC, NBC, and PBS. So I watched a whole lot of Masterpiece Theater and a whole lot of Mystery with the Edward Gorey opening. But I didn't watch things like The Electric Company because that wasn't on our station. Anyway. More juniper tea. So now I see why I don't stream by myself all the time. But I could get better at this. I'm not so bad. Smee, why don't you play D&D? You'd have fun smiting people. And it would be really fun to make Lath take his mom to D&D. Hello, Dark Raven. How are you? What are you up to? And where do you hail from? I am just making jewelry, not as a tutorial. Excellent. Well, welcome. I am not actually the normal Beading Dreams person. Usually we have our fearless leader, Allison, who is the owner. I'm the manager and her right-hand woman. She does tutorials, and we do live sales, and... Oh, where in Texas? Yes, you did hear a raven. We've got 2 ravens in the stream tonight, which is exciting. We're in Dallas, Texas, Dark Raven. So we're here all the time. Hey, that's awesome. Very cool. Have you ever been inside Beading Dreams? If not, you should come see us. We're super fun. Gotcha. So that's a bit of a haul, but not impossible. We actually have some regulars who come from other states like Oklahoma and Louisiana, although we haven't seen them as much during the pandemic. So do you make things, Dark Raven? I've always made a lot of things. That's one of the things that we went through in my job interview here, actually. That's awesome. What kind of art do you do? Do you do... Well, tell me what kind of art you do so I don't guess and make a fool out of myself. That's awesome. Technically, we're kind of full-time artists, but lately I've been impressing the people at Trader Joe's by telling them, yeah, I'm about to go home and stream. We're Twitch streamers. Which is not where I thought my life would be at this point, but I'm very happy about it anyway. But it is always nice to, you know, impress the people at Trader Joe's, because they're almost always very interesting people. We are pretty popular. That's amazing, Dark Raven. That sounds so great. Can someone post our Discord? Because I put the whatever. I put the keyboard. That's the thing with the stuff. I put the keyboard over there, and now I have beads all over. Thank you, Corvus. Yeah, I didn't realize there were makers on Twitch until we started streaming, which, I mean, I also, to be fair, I didn't realize that there were bead stores until I started working here. So there's a big rock that I live right under. So that's me. Doesn't make me right, doesn't make me wrong either. It's so hard to randomize colors, y'all. Have you ever noticed that? But I do absolutely love Twitch. It is a phenomenal resource. Yay! Dark Raven joined. Hooray! We would love to see pictures of absolutely anything. We all love art of all kinds, not just jewelry. So, yeah. I thought about doing some very, very basic painting tonight, but I dressed up fancy for my first solo stream. And I don't want to get paint on my fancy outfit, so maybe tomorrow I will do a painting